Good morning, Morav Rabotai. Bezrat Hashem, Mincha is going to be 6:40. Please be on time. Actually, 6:45, I should say. Please be on time. Learning today is the Ilui Nishmat Bero Ben Mazal, sponsored by Isaac Abramchayev, and Meir Ben Mazal, sponsored by Albert Tachalov. Uchim to you. Also remember, for Rav Ashush and his Kollel and his yeshiva, everybody that wants to give, Rav Ashush is here for today. I don't know how long he's staying for, but make sure to give it promptly. So we're continuing the halachot of Shabbat. We're talking about a sadeh. Sadeh is a field. So let's say a person who's Jewish wants to have the sharecropper. In the older times, they had what is called the sharecropper. That means a person who would split the profits, everything that comes from the field. Let's say they made 100 bushels of wheat. They would split it, either 25%, 50%. There was an owner to the field, and then there was the worker. The owner didn't want to work. It was a big job. So you would have the worker work, and you would say, listen, whatever you make, whatever amount is sold, you're going to get 25%. You're going to get a 50% cut for X amount of years. And that's what that was called in Hebrew. The language is arisut. Arisut is a sharecropper. They share in the income because there's an owner and there's a worker. The halacha is, if the sharecropper is a goy and the owner is a Jew, the owner is not doing any work. You do the work, do it whenever you want. But at the end of the day, you're going to get 25%. So since this is an incentive-based system, so when the goy says on his own, the Jew didn't tell him to work on Shabbat. The goy says, you know what, I want to harvest, I want to plant, I want to do this, all on Shabbat. We have no problem with that. Why? Because what's the goy thinking? He's thinking for the Jew, he's doing it for the Jew on Shabbat. He could have done it on Friday, he could have done it on Sunday. The fact is that he's doing it for himself. For he's looking at his 25% that he's going to gain, the 50%. So this is called goy adata de nafshe avid. And since in the Gemara's time, it was extremely common to use sharecropping, was the basic system that was used, everybody knew, there was no suspicion, there was no marit ayin, that somehow this goy was working for the Jew. He was working for himself. He was working for his own profit. And therefore the Gemara says, even if the goy decides to do it on Shabbat, and even though it's something that's attached to the ground, there's no problem, there's no violation of halacha. Very similar today, much more common, is you would have a rental. The goy rents a property from a Jew. The Jew is the owner of the shop. The goy rents the property from the Jew. He signs a lease, 3 years, whatever it is. And the goy has the store open on one day, the next day, the next day. So there, in the technical sense, we're going to talk about Meikar Adin, we're going to expand it beyond, but in a Meikar Adin sense, like in the Gemara's time, it would be also a rental of a field. You would rent the field. The fact of the matter is, the goy is working on Shabbat. He's working what? He's working for himself. He's not working for the Jew because he gets a share, and in that case, it's 100% of the profits, and he's paying only a set amount to the Jew. So both of these cases, one is called sechirut, one is called arisut. Both of these cases, the Gemara talks about as being permitted, provided that is the universal system that is used. Tomorrow we're going to discuss a very similar case that one has to be careful to not apply to the first case. The field case is contrasted with the beta mechat, which is actually a little bit closer to the store, and Bezrat Hashem will see tomorrow a very important distinction in this halacha. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.